thank you all for joining us here today. First, I just want to acknowledge, of course, that we're gathered today on the traditional territory of signatories of Treaty 7. I also want to acknowledge the Métis people of Alberta, of course, who have a deep connection to this land. Of course, I'm happy to be here in Strathmore. My name is Mike Ellis. I am the Deputy Premier and the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services. It's a pleasure to be joined here by Chantal DeJong. She's the MLA for Chestermere-Strathmore, and of course, Mayor of Strathmore, Pat Fuel, and the Fire Chief here in Strathmore, Chief Sturgeon. I want to thank him for hosting us here in this great location. And of course, all the members of the Strathmore Fire Department for hosting this wonderful event here today. Alberta's government, of course, is committed to strengthening our emergency response capabilities and safeguarding communities from the devastating impacts of wildfires. Amid unprecedented wildfire challenges in recent years, the importance of being proactive and being prepared and ready to respond is crucial. Now, we've witnessed the immense destruction that wildfires can cause at home and in other parts of the world, and that's why we're focused on building more skilled, specialized, and ready to deploy teams that can work to ensure communities, businesses, and critical infrastructure are protected in the event of a wildfire. And that's why I'm pleased to announce today that Alberta's government is providing close to $7 million to expand the wildland urban interface teams across Alberta. Wildland urban interface teams are structural firefighters who have specialized training and equipment to respond to wildfires and threaten to enter a community or wherever developed areas meet wildland areas. Now, this investment will create 6 new wildland urban interface teams, an increase from the current 2, which will enhance the province's capability and readiness to act when wildfires threaten developed areas. The 6 new wildland interface teams will be based out of the town of Hinton, the town of Slave Lake, Lac La Biche County, Keetuskee now Tribal Council, the town of Strathmore, and the Kananaskis Improvement District. The existing teams are based in Clearwater County and the town of High Level. Each new team will receive $1.09 million for the personal costs, administrative support, equipment, maintenance, and travel costs to help them develop and expand the wildland urban interface programs, training, and operational capacity. Funding for the town of Hinton, town of Slave Lake, Lac La Biche, Keetuskee, now Tribal Council, is shared equally between Natural Resources Canada and Alberta Forestry and Parks. Forestry and Parks and Natural Resources are each providing $545,000 for each of the 4 teams. The government is focused on continuing to make critical investments to strengthen our firefighting capacity to protect our province. As we work to strengthen Alberta's emergency response capabilities, I also continue to encourage Albertans to be prepared. At this time of year, of course, wildfire conditions can change rapidly, and I encourage all Albertans to set aside some time to prepare their emergency kits with enough food and water for a minimum of 72 hours. And make sure that you have a plan for your pets, that you keep some cash on hand, that you keep your vehicles fueled, and make alternative transportation arrangements if needed. Now, I also want you to visit alberta.ca/beprepared to find emergency preparedness resources that can help you. And please download the Alberta Emergency Alerts app to make sure that you receive emergency notifications. I would like to thank everyone for being here today, and I'd like to now invite MLA Chantal DeJong to the podium to say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Chantal DeJong, the local MLA for Chestermere-Strathmore, and I'm proud to stand alongside Minister Ellis and local leaders here today as Alberta's government establishes 6 new wildland urban interface teams, dramatically enhancing our wildfire preparedness and our community protection. In response to the increasing wildfire threats, this initiative, which complements the existing teams, is a proactive step to safeguard our towns, farms, and critical infrastructure by improving coordination, training, and response capabilities in areas where wildlands meet communities. These teams will be vital in preventing fires from entering populated areas and ensuring rapid, effective action where needed. Thanks to this investment, we are strengthening our wildfire resilience, protecting lives and properties, and ensuring Albertans can feel safer in their homes and neighborhoods. This is exciting news for Strathmore, now home to one of the province's 6 new WUI teams. And as the local MLA, I'm incredibly proud to see this initiative strengthening our region's emergency response capabilities. And I have every confidence in the dedicated men and women of the Strathmore Fire Department. They stand ready to answer the call and protect Albertans whenever duty demands. I hold the deepest respect for their service, and I thank them sincerely to their commitment in keeping our community safe. Together, with the dedication of local fire departments and government support, we are taking decisive action to face the challenges of wildfire season head-on. I would now like to invite Pat Fuel, Mayor for the Town of Strathmore, to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you for all being here. My name is Pat Fuel, and I'm the Mayor for the Town of Strathmore, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Honourable Todd Loewen, the Honourable Mike Ellis, our MLA for Chestermere Strathmore and Parliamentary Secretary for Affordability and Utilities, Chantal DeYoung, and especially MLA DeYoung. I appreciate all the efforts you've made to support Strathmore and getting this incredible initiative for our town, but not just for our town and our firefighters, but also to help support other communities throughout the province. The Minister has already spoken about the significance of this initiative, and so I don't want to dwell on that. But WUI, or pronounced WUI, stands for Wildland Urban Interface. It refers to the area where natural landscapes meet developed communities. And I think we all know that the fire situation in the province has gotten much stronger, much earlier. And this program will be amazing to help our community, but also our community can reach out and support other communities in times of trouble. In 2023, our firefighters deployed across northern Alberta and the Northwest Territories. Last summer, they went to Jasper and helped there. So our fire department stands ready, and we greatly appreciate the over $7 million that's going to be provided for this program. And we will be one of the communities, one of the 6 communities that has firefighters trained and able to respond in those situations. So I greatly appreciate the province of Alberta, and we thank them for supporting Strathmore and also helping Strathmore support other communities. It's very much appreciated, and thank you, Minister Ellis, for all your efforts as well. Chief Sturgeon, I think this will be a great thing for you and your department. So thank you very much, everyone, and especially to the province of Alberta and our MLA, Chantal DeYoung. Thank you.
This brings us to the question and answer portion of our announcement. We do have quite a number of reporters here on the floor. There is a mic if you'd like to ask some questions. I'd just get you to please state your name and your outlet before asking your question.
Minister Kevin Fleming, CTV News. Tell me what your forecasters are telling you about what's west of Calgary right now in the Boreal Forest area.
So are you talking about the risk of fire right now? Well, I will tell you that certainly Alberta Emergency Management works very closely with Minister Loewen's department. I mean, they're constantly assessing the situation on a regular basis. Certainly there has been no notifications to me that there are any significant risks at this particular time. That being said, I'm sure anyone from the fire department can tell you that there's always the unknown threat of when a fire may or may not occur. Really, it's about preparedness, and that's precisely what we're doing here with the Wildland Urban Interface, but also preparedness, which is what Alberta Emergency Management does to make sure every municipality in this province, no matter where you are fully prepared and trained and ready to go. And we saw that, how great Alberta Emergency Management worked with Jasper in making sure that we were evacuate everybody out of a Jasper area with not even as much as a traffic accident. And that's a credit to the great men and women who are planning and preparing for any sort of disaster.
Are we still working with Banff National Park as well on something like that, on proactive measures?
So there have been some proactive measures that have been done. Obviously, it's a question more so for Minister Lowen. Unfortunately, he's not here at the moment, but I will say that he has been in touch with Parks Canada. I think it's like anything. I think there's always things that we can continue to do, but there has been some work, and you'll have to reach out to Minister Lowen's office to get more specifics on that, though. Thank you.
How do you like this program that you've got going right now and how it can really help the province?
Yeah, so great question, to be honest with you. So, one of the things that we did after, we had to declare a provincial state of emergency a couple of years ago when we had a fire, including Jasper, one of the things I always say, and this may be my former life as an incident commander, is I always say, what did we learn and what could we have done better, right? And I think that creating the wildlife urban interface teams are one of the things that we can do. We have the folks that do a fantastic job. As I was talking to the chief earlier today, we have the folks that do an excellent job when it comes to structural firefighting. We have the folks that do the wildfire firefighting. But there seemed to be a bit of a disconnect, right? So when a wildland firefighter is approaching a municipality or some sort of structure, we had to make sure that we have that interface. And so having the ability to have not only the 2 teams that we had, to have 6 more teams, strategically place them throughout the province so that they can be deployed wherever a crisis occurs is fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Not seeing any more questions here from the floor. We do have some reporters on the line. Operator, can you put through the first question, please?
Kyle Moore with Peace River.
Hi there. My question here is for Minister Ellis. Certainly up here in the northern part of the province, there have been a lot of communities over the years that have been affected with wildfires and having some evacuations happening as well. With this announcement here today, how can this help in getting more resources for, protecting and helping these communities in the event of more fires?
Well, prevention, Alberta Emergency Management, of course, works with all municipalities, not only to be prepared, but they try to do what they can to do proactive measures. If I recall, looking at my notes here, I think Slave Lake was one of where the WUI teams would be deployed. By coincidence, I was just recently up in the Peace River area. As we continue to look at expanding the programs, we'll see what other opportunities are out there, to be honest with you. But right now, with the total of 8 programs, we're trying to figure out where we can strategically place them in order to deploy them in an efficient and effective manner throughout the province. In regards to preparation and preparedness, obviously Alberta Emergency Management works with the local fire department in the Peace River area. We also make sure that Minister Lowen and his departments are constantly doing proactive measures to make sure that we look for vulnerable spots within the province of Alberta, and we're also exploring new technologies. I can tell you that we've had a lot of folks, whether it be companies that are involved in kind of satellite technology, to kind of give us a better understanding of the lay of the land. And this is something that both Minister Lowen and my department are looking at exploring on how to try to prevent some of the more vulnerable areas and kind of help the folks on the ground here do some proactive measures. So I hope I answered your question.
Did you have a follow-up, sir?
Yes, and as a bit of a follow-up to that, we have been experiencing quite a bit of a warm, dry weather up here in this part of the province, and certainly that has elevated some risk of fires happening. What are kind of some things that you think that residents up here should keep in mind for in terms of preparing for emergencies if, should fires spark, so to speak?
Well, again, I encourage everyone to go as far as preparedness. Certainly go to alberta.ca/beprepared. Certainly there'll be a long list of items in order to make sure that you're prepared in case somebody had to be evacuated. In regards to preparing for a fire, again, this is where the municipality is working with Alberta Emergency Management to make sure that the municipalities are prepared. As I previously mentioned, just in regards to Jasper, this was an excellent example of how a town worked very closely with Alberta Emergency Management when they were facing the threat of the fire. everybody knew what to do, from Alberta Emergency Management, from the town of Jasper, and they were able to evacuate everybody out of that jurisdiction, again, without not even as much as a traffic accident. So really, fires can be unpredictable. I think we all know that. I can certainly have the chief come up here and talk about that for probably an hour, but they're unpredictable. Really, what we can do is make sure that we're prepared. Certainly, if there's some concerns regarding some dry areas within your region, certainly make sure that Mr. Lowen and his department are certainly aware of that, but also make sure that the local fire department is aware of that, and then certainly they can contact the Alberta government to make sure that they can try to take some proactive measures. Thank you.
We do have another question here on the floor. You can go ahead, sir. Just please state your name and outlet.
Yeah, my name is Rolf Wenzel, CEO of Wildfire Innovations. We're one of the new technologies coming out.
There you go.
Currently, I think the main strategy you have is contracting out a lot of the work rather than owning assets. I'm just wondering if some of the new technologies are looking to be acquired and sprinkled around the province by the province, or are you going to rely on mainly private contractors to provide all the equipment and services?
Well, another great question for Minister Lowen. So let me see if I can take a kind of a stab at it. Look, again, it's about empowering the municipalities, right? So we make sure all our municipalities are prepared in order to deal with whatever they might be facing. Obviously, wildfire under Minister Lowen, they do what they can to take proactive measures. They've acquired some new technology, the night flying, the helicopters as an example. They're able to fight the fires at night as an example. As far as strategically placing resources throughout the province that are in we'll call it a bit of a stagnant position up until when they are needed, Again, that's more of a question for Minister Lowen. But again, we're exploring all opportunities. To me, from a former incident commander perspective, it's about doing proactive measures, but also when a critical incident occurs, that we're getting the resources in a very timely manner. And yeah, that's really all I can say about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have a follow-up, sir? Okay, we do have time for one more question. Operator, can you put through the next caller?
Jack Farrell with the Canadian Press.
Hello, my questions are for Minister Ellis. The first one, I'm just wondering if these teams that you're announcing, are they going to be permanent? Like, I know that might be a little complicated given it's like federal and provincial funding. And then on the other side of that too, like, will these teams be operational this year, or will it be a next year thing because it takes time to like set them up and all that?
Well, the second part of the question, I actually get the chief to answer that one. But for the first part of the question, certainly the plan is to have them permanent, of course. I'm certainly, one of the things that many people always hear me talk about, especially in my ministry, is predictable, sustainable funding, especially when we're talking about public safety and emergency services. I'm going to say at this moment here, I'm very optimistic. I certainly don't want to speak on behalf of the federal government, but I'm certainly optimistic that their funding would be something that would also be predictable, sustainable funding. But Chief, would you like to answer the second part of that question? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. When would it be operational?
Thank you, Minister. To be operational, so with our capacity, we are already trained to the standard that we need to be. So we have multiple members trained to that standard. We have been deploying for the past 2 years. So this year will be no different. We do currently have our hiring underway for our 4 new full-time members that this grant will provide us. So we're very excited about that. And so to answer your question, we're ready to go today. Our 4 additional members will be onboarded shortly within the next couple of weeks. So we're ready to go. Thank you.
Did you have a follow-up question, Jack?
I do, thank you. For Minister Ellis, I'm hoping, sorry for such a broad question, but I'm hoping you could kind of just speak a little bit about if there's been any kind of wildfire-specific prep work on the province's part for the upcoming G7 meeting.
Well, again, I feel like a broken record here. A great question for Minister Lowen on that. Look, here's what I can say at a very high level. Both myself and the Premier have been very we'll say impressed with Mr. Lowen in looking at taking proactive measures. Specifically as it relates to G7, I I would like to believe that sort of preparation is, of course, occurring. Again, we can probably get you a more clear answer from the department on Minister Lowen's side in regards to that answer. I can tell you that AMA has been at the table, along with the Ministry of Public Safety, in preparation from a safety perspective as it relates to what is going on in G7. I can tell you that there has been a lot of preparation and planning from both the province of Alberta as well as the government of Canada to make sure that that is an absolutely safe event for all the dignitaries who will be attending the country and, of course, the province of Alberta. Thank you.
That concludes our announcement today. I'd like to thank everybody for coming.